And this is on the low part. And if I go here, all right, the little circle, it's gone. And then the branch with the one bird is still there. One turtle's hanging on for dear life, the big one. Or he's not sharing it with the small ones. And then more people coming down with their inner tubes. And there you have it. I'm going to try to get this working right. Ecamm is not my favorite right now. And you see, it messed up already. Okay, folks, let's get this thing rolling. So I use the A6700 with 3 lenses. I used it with the 18 to 135. I've always wanted that lens. I finally got it just recently. And I think it was with another ZVE10 that was used. The HDMI port worked on it. I'm happy. I got the lens basically for free. Okay. So I just paid for the camera, and the camera was a lot cheaper also. So it was a great deal. I got it from the Camera Exchange Incorporated, and they've always been good to me. But let's look at some of these pictures. And as you can see, there's some great shots. They're all pretty clear. And the nice thing with the A6700, you can crop in a little bit. Look at that. And let's see. Yeah, the bird went away. Okay. So anyway, yep, sure did. So I'll continue on. There's a friend that I met. He was skateboarding. He was having a good old time. Some more pictures of the people in the river. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this one big turtle that was hanging on for life. Either that or he was snoozing. But if I crop in, but look how sharp these pictures are. Okay, that's still a pretty good shot. And it's not even, well, it's starting to pixelate now. But you can see it's a great camera. Okay. And I also use the 70 to 350 millimeter, which is the G lens from Sony. The 18 to 135 used to be the kit lens, all in one. And I used also the 56 millimeter from Sigma, which gives you equivalent of in a 35 millimeter, roughly the same field of view of an 85 or 84. Okay. 1.5 crop, since it's on a crop sensor camera. But all great pictures. I didn't see any quality problems. It did focus on the branches in front of the on some shots, but when I was focusing on the people, it was sharp. And if you notice, the Guadalupe was coming over. You're supposed to go down this area, and a lot of people were getting stuck here and there. But then if they waited, the water would bring them over here to the waterfall. Some people just got tired and they just got up and moved down. And this one family was watching everybody, enjoying the action. And they were having a good time. This is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. School is out. And you see that one lady was having a hard time. She should have moved to the right where the other people were. And she was trying to go down there by her friend. But they were moving pretty fast. Yeah, most of the pictures were pretty good. And what was I using? I was using a 56 millimeter. I didn't want to go back down there. I was trying to get the picture. I should have gone down there with the 56 millimeter. So there are limitations compared to a zoom. But and if I do a Command I, let's see what lens I was using on that one. Yeah, it was the 56 millimeter, 84 millimeter equivalent to 35 focal length. Okay. And it was at f1.4. And you look at this water just churning. Okay. There's that bird. That's pretty good for a 56 millimeter. There's another shot of the tree. F1.4 is sharp. I'm thinking I'm using this lens for the portraits for the models for the Guadalupe. Yeah, I'm going to use an APS-C camera just to see. It's sharp, okay? So I'm not going for bokeh. And I think 50 millimeter is too close, but I do have a 50 millimeter in APS-C format. So who knows? It's a small lens, and I got a great camera. Right here, they would have the model sit here, and then there's a rock formation just below it. That was all covered. You can't even see the rock formation. And usually you see more of the tree and you see a whole bunch of turtles just with the birds on that branch. And I'm wondering if that's another branch or another bird. I kept looking at that. No, that's a branch. All right. And then here's Mr. Tortoise hanging on for dear life. This is still the 56 millimeter f1.4. So imagine how sharp and clear this is. Now I'm using the 70 millimeter of the 70 to 350. Okay, the G lens. It's at 4.5, and it gives equivalent of to a 35 millimeter of 105. And I could use that lens also for models. What do you think about that? Yeah, just try to experiment. And you see the stones that were circular right there. Um, it's underwater. I would have hate to have the models go in there and then they'd probably be sped away, and I'd probably fall down 2 or 3 times. So I lost a phone doing that, In fact, the phone came back to life. If I would have been patient, I would still be using it, but I'm liking this new phone, especially with AirDrop. I can drop the pictures very quickly to the computer. Just gotta make sure it's on Wi-Fi. But, there's another shot, and look how sharp and clear this lens is, and it's stabilized too. Look at the feathers on this bird, and I think I was focusing on that instead of his eyes. But still, even in the background, okay, because it was near the bank, look how sharp that is. Unreal. Starting to pixelate. And there's another shot. A little bokeh in the background, but and there's Mr. Tortoise. So that's a real close up. And that's why I like this lens. Peter Gray got one of these too. He had the 70-180, and now he has the 70-350. And he can put that on his A7C2 and crop, and he'll still have some fantastic pictures. This was on the A6700. That's why I got the camera. Did a little video with it, but look at that. This branch, and I try to find where it was fell off, but that tree is so tall that it fell from somewhere. But the force, and I found branches all over the place. But looking at all the different shots uh, from 80, which was kind of like 120, that's why I like the zoom lens. So with the I found out using the zoom lens like 100-500 or the 200-800 or the 180-600, even the Plena 135 are excellent lenses for taking photographs of models, because of the compression and stuff. But I'm looking at the sharpness too and the clarity. I mean, let's look at the water, okay? Look at that. That's gorgeous. I mean, makes you kind of thirsty. It looks like ice cold water, doesn't it? I wouldn't drink it, but it looks pretty cool though. And you can see where the water was higher and where the mold is growing. But you see, uh, when you get a sharp lens and you start seeing color of the mold, you got a good lens. No one talks about this lens lately. And you see, I'm just taking shots. Let me see if I'm, no, I don't know what I was doing. This is probably in my yard. I was filming something. Was it an ant or a lizard? No, it was a lizard. There it is, the lizard. Okay. Right in the middle. So this is at the Guadalupe also. Yeah, there he is. Okay. I'm trying to figure, why am I taking pictures of grass? And then realizing, oh yeah, that lizard. So now you can see him right in the center. That's a good shot right there. And that's with the 70-350 millimeter. Uh, just making sure. No, take that back. That's the 18-135 millimeter now. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, this one right here was a bigger lizard. You'll see him barely back here. And there he is right there, but he was fast. There's a good shot of him right here. Let's see. Now I know why I was looking at the grass. And then look at his tail. And he was pretty big. but he was moving. Okay, 18 to 135. And you can see the little lizard. And then I found this, it's from these right here. They're all over the place. So, and there's that one bird. So this used to be a kit lens. So the 70-350 and 18 to 135 are excellent lenses. 70-350 is a little bit sharper, but the 18 to 135 is no slouch. It'll give you kind of like a what is it? A 27 to uh, 290, something like that. I'll bring my mouse over. Yeah, unbelievable. And yep, water was pretty high. People were enjoying it. And there we go. Now I'm back home. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm still at the Guadalupe. I'm trying to figure out why this picture is like it is. Okay. And it could be the viewing program and stuff. But you see, it's I've been having a lot of problems with all these updates lately. But look how sharp and colorful with this lens. Yeah, it's at 135, which is a 202. Man, that's beautiful. And that's a tiny flower. Okay. And that's one that's opened up all the way. And then kind of look at the bokeh, busy background and in the back, but that's still a sharp picture. And there's a smaller one. And that's two turtles. And here we go again. I don't know why it does that by 9x16s. Yeah. So they saw me coming and they got in the water. And he stuck his head out there. He dove just before I got the shot. And there were three of them were on that uh, part of the branch. And then, of course, using the 18 to 135. And rest of the pictures are with the 18 to 135. So this is the computer I built. I've done some videos on it. I got a 14-inch 4K 60 hertz monitor by the keyboard, and it's with a humongous 3440 by 1440 LG Ultra Gear Plus monitor, 240 hertz QD OLED. That monitor, that 4K InnoView, it's also an OLED monitor, but it's glossy. The QD OLED, the LG Ultra Gear, the wide screen monitor, is a matte screen. So you don't get the vibrant colors like you do on the glossy. And as you can see, I got the new RTX 5080 in the height Y70 case. I got the F360s, the 360 cooler from NZXT. So I got two of those, one in the side, one on the bottom of the graphics card, underneath the grills in the case on the bottom. And then the 360 AIO on top, and you can see the hoses I stuck to the bottom instead to the side because the reason why for that is air bubbles. You don't want to get any air bubbles. But also, once I did this and put in a better thermal paste, the temperatures went down. And I'm pretty proud of that. Wait to see. 47 degrees Celsius for the CPU, 45 for the video card, RTX 5080, and it's quiet. I have heard no coil whine. And the only noise I hear is the CPU AIO wrapping up when it starts getting warm. And it'll get up to like 82 degrees Celsius. But, and there's that 14-inch monitor, and there's the 3440 monitor. And I took some pictures at night. It looks like daytime, but the A6700 did a fantastic job. Now, there is a little noise that you get with the A6700, but still, with the 18 to 135 millimeter lens, excellent. This is where I stopped off to get my Frappy Mocha last night, and I started taking pictures. And then in the backyard, the sheds, the leaves, the plants. I don't know why it does that. I don't know. Preview has a problem. There's a live oak tree. And just show you how sharp this lens is. Look at the bark. Now, you can see a dark patch right there. Guy that was helping me cut the limbs was thinking that there's a worm or something right there, and that may fall eventually. So, who knows? Just as long as I'm not underneath it. But, 18, 135 millimeter. That's pretty good. With a crop sensor camera, crop sensor lens, I see no problems. But look, I get dusty real close, and then at 18 millimeters, and even at 18 millimeters, that's still sharp. Okay, that's excellent. I cannot complain about this lens, and I'm glad I got it. And you've seen these in the backyard before, but I show off different lenses, different cameras. You can see how muddy it was. Here's Yennefer. There's I was trying to find a box. I mailed it to Peter, the 10 to 20 millimeter f4, and then I remembered that I got it used from the camera, the Camera Exchange and Corporate store, the local store for the where I buy things. So I reorganized a little bit and got more space. And he still hasn't received the lens yet. It was supposed to arrive today, but I told him, I says, with the holiday and stuff, they may be backlogged. And sure enough, they were. So he'll get it tomorrow. He was hoping to show it off, between 11 millimeter. So you'll get some videos of it, him walking around at 10 millimeters and then showing up to 20 millimeters. I told him still use a tripod because his arms aren't not long enough. And the snails everywhere. I keep knocking them off. And this is on my shutter, okay, in the window. How did he get up there? I don't know. But he was a busy little fellow. And then, of course, I was looking at the bricks, and I don't see any distortion. Do you? Life is a beach. And then there's my Yorkie. Let's see if I got yeah, and that's, the close-up. Almost looks like a macro, doesn't it? And if you go in a little bit sharper at 135, that's pretty good, okay? Here's looking at you, kid. And there we go again. Come on. So that was yesterday before it rained last night. And last night it rained for about 6 hours. So yeah, it was early in the morning and then I stopped around 11. It was a crepe myrtle. So the colors are accurate. I like the sharpness of the lens. That little is a plastic thing that supposed to help the bank for the dirt for not to fall into the ditch. And with all the rain that we had the past 3 days, it got loose. And of course, the blue sky. I get some pictures of the hospital cranes. And there's a close up of the that thing. You can see it almost looks like a bumper, but it's not. And yeah, there's that 135 millimeter, which is a 202. And there's my small crepe myrtle. This is inside the house. The colors, the pictures look fantastic. If you want an one all-in-one zoom lens, this is one you have. And this should be the last picture. So you can see I'm pretty happy with the A6700. I think it's a great camera. I'm trying to get to the picture. See that? Look better than that. Speed it up a little bit. Yeah, this program has a problem with 9x16s. So, and this is at night. That's a great shot. I think I'm going to end it right there. I'm sorry. Uh, I'm a PC guy, but I went to Mac for content creation. And do that. There you go, folks. Full screen. We're going to end it right there. So thank you for watching. Remember, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll see you next time. Bye, folks. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and one more thing. About 10 minutes, go and watch Peter Gregg live. He has his live stream tonight. It's 10 p.m. Eastern. If you want to have a lot of fun, if you want to write any comments to join in, please subscribe. At least give a like. He's a real great guy. A lot of camera experience, but a lot of people don't like watching live streams. So anyway, thank you for watching.